Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I will be giving you 3 of my best bets for tomorrow's horse racing action. It's been another great day on our YouTube channel as we came away with more profit. We had an 8-1 nap winner and also as well a 7-2 winner as well at Salisbury. And before I get into those tips tomorrow, I'll just quickly recap on how our selections ran today. So like I said, we had a nice 8-1 nap winner at Newcastle. That was Serious Intention, who I always thought from last night was quite a big price, and I think the bookmakers were ignoring his last run, which was really encouraging. And also as well some strong form behind Lost in Space at Doncaster, and in the end he was quite a cosy victor today. At one point, I thought he was going to be the unlucky horse of the race because Paddy, who was aboard doing a low weight of 8 stone 6, he was weaving around looking for a gap, but the gap finally came for him and he stuck to the task really well. And he definitely, I think, appreciated going on the all-weather surface and stepping up in trip 2. It'd be interesting to see how much the handicapper does rate him, but in the end I'm pleased we had a nice price winner there at 8-1, and he was still available last night at that kind of price. So if you're able to get on those early prices, fair play. And also as well, even throughout the day, you know, still a nice juicy price. He was 11-2, 5-1 for a lot of the day, and then the money came for him just before the off. I think he went off around about 10-3, 7-2 in the end. So fair play if you did back him there, and it was a nice success. Now, our other winner today came in the Group 3 Dick Pool Stakes at Salisbury, where we put up Happy Romance. Thought Sean Levy gave her a really good ride. She was a very comfortable traveller in the end, and she was travelling really strongly into the race. And then when Sean Levy asked her to go and win it, she went and obliged, and she was definitely the best filly in the race. Some people might have questioned some of her earlier form, but I thought it was actually the best form on offer. I know a lot of people would have said about Timescale's piece of form through Dandella, but I thought that day Timescale had every chance to win, and she just wasn't good enough. And also as well, she's quite a small filly, and she's probably got a little bit more growing to do. So yeah, Timescale's probably a bit more of a filly for next year in my opinion, but it was a nice performance by Happy Romance, and she continues that great story, being probably pretty much one of the best juveniles that we've seen this season. But as a 3-year-old, I wouldn't be so keen. A lot of people saying Guinea's horse, but I would have my judgments if she could get the mile. I think Richard Hannon, if you're listening to this, stick to her at 6 furlongs. She might be able to get 7, but I wouldn't really want to step her up in trip too much. I think she's a natural sprinter and will do good for connections during her career at those distances. Also as well, our other selections today, disappointing with the next best, Sun Bear. Not going to touch that filly again. She was very disappointing. Possibly the ground was the excuse, but I thought she would have been a little bit better than that. And also as well in her breeding, it suggested that she might be able to handle a bit of dig in the ground. Sorry about that sneeze there. But yeah, Sun Bear, she was very disappointing. And in the end was never really in the race, you know, got in a good position, but just couldn't capitalise on it, and was just very disappointing. And the writing was on the wall a long way from home when Rab Havlin was asking for the effort. The only other selection that did disappoint for us, but through no fault of his own, was Dragon Car. He was held up. That's the way he has to be ridden, and he's normally one that comes with a late run and picks up the pieces. It's too hard to say. You can't say that he wouldn't have. It's hard to say that he would have won the race, but he was brought down for a faller in front of him. I suspect he might have been in the mix for places, but I don't think he probably would have won. But in the end, yeah, it was just through no fault of his own. He was just starting to be asked for an effort, but I think he would have responded, and he probably would have could have run into maybe third place, but who knows. But yeah, disappointing there, but on the whole, I'm not complaining. We've had 2 nice winners today, and we're continuing our good form for September. 3 consecutive days of profit, 3 consecutive winning naps, and we're going to go on for the 4th consecutive nap, hopefully tomorrow. So let's get stuck into the tips for tomorrow's racing. And we're going to be starting in the 340 at Ascot with a horse called Look Closely. Currently 7-2 with bookmakers at the moment for Andrea Zany and Roger Varian. Andrea Azzani had a double today at Haydock, and that takes his tally now to 1,000 British career winners. So congratulations to him. And he's had a great relationship during his career with Roger Varian, and Roger Varian's team are absolutely flying at the moment. They are operating at a 29% strike rate. They had a listed winner, I believe, with Angel Power tonight at Paris Longshot, so they're doing really well. And this horse, look closely, has been really progressive this season, winning both his starts at Ascot, and I think he's still fairly progressive now. His last run when he won at Ascot, the form's a little bit mixed. The second place horse was Hyanna for Eve Johnson Horton, but even though, yes, she didn't win, she still finished, I thought, a credible third over a trip that was probably a little bit too short for her. And she was running on really strongly that day in that race at Sandown. So the form's probably not too bad, but I think the course form of this horse is hard to ignore. He's a horse that either likes to be making the pace or he likes to be up there with it. And I think that's normally the way you want to ride Ascot. It's not always a track to make up ground. You always want a good position if you can. You can often get quite a lot of hard luck stories, and it's normally the horse that was sitting out the back. If the horse at the front didn't win, the horse maybe sitting out the back is the one that maybe picks up the pieces and goes down the wide outside. But I still think being prominent is never a bad thing at Ascot, especially as well if you're good at those tactics. And I just think that this horse could still have a little bit more development coming him. And even though, yes, he might be getting a little bit high in the weights now, I still think this is a very winnable race. And I still think there's a little bit of value in his mark of 72. I think he definitely is a 100 rated plus horse. He might be able to squeeze in a listed race or a minor Group 3 at some point if he does go on to win this. I still think he's, like I said, got a bit more progression to come, and he is going to be my next best in the 340 at Ascot. We then go to the nap in the 450 at Ascot with a horse called Tempus. Now, this horse I think could be a potential Cambridgeshire horse for Roger Charlton and Jason Watson. You can currently back this horse at 5-2, and this is going to be my nap of the day. I'm really sweet on his chances tomorrow. Now, this horse is going to be actually running in the same race that Lord North ran in last season when he finished in second place. After that race at Ascot, Lord North went on to win the Cambridgeshire, so this is kind of a similar route. Now, Tempest, he's a very lightly raced horse. We've only seen him 5 times on the race course during his career, and he's done really well. He's won a few times, and last time we saw him, this son of Kingman, who's got a lovely Juddmonte pedigree, out of a Group 1 winning mare called Passage of Time. She's also as well the dam of Time Test, who was a great filly for Juddmonte, a lovely Juddmonte pedigree. And last time we saw him, he was actually awarded the race at Newbury, where there was a little bit of interference with Overright, but I still think he did the job really well, and I think he's going to come on bundles for that run. Now, he's been given a mark of 93, and I still think he's potentially very well handicapped. Now, if you want to back him for the Cambridgeshire, I think the time to back him is now, because if he does win this race tomorrow, I think he will easily shorten up in the market and will become the anti-post favourite and could become a massive gamble in the race. I could see him, if he wins tomorrow, maybe shortening to maybe 6-7-1, something like that for the race, you know. Roger Charlton as well, he's been in good form, operating at a 25% strike rate in the last couple of weeks. And I just think with this horse's pedigree being by Kingman out of a Group 1 winning mare, you got to think of a mark of 93 was better. He was bred to be better than that. And I just think he's had his problems, but every time he's come to the racecourse, he's always shown a high level of ability, a lot of improvement. And I just think tomorrow he can take another step forward. So for me, at 5-2, I do think that's good value. And I think he will go off slightly shorter tomorrow. I could see him going off around about 2-1, maybe 7-4, 15-8, that kind of price. I could see there being a lot of support for him. And for me, he's the one that they've all got to beat. And if he does turn up, I think he could be a group horse in the making. We then go with my final tip, which runs in the 7:30 at Sedgefield, where we are going to be going with my long shot here with a horse called Tickety Tock for Alexander Fleming and Sue Smith. Now, Sue Smith, you wouldn't normally back too many of her horses at this time of year. You don't normally associate them with having winners. However, she's saddled a couple of horses recently, and she actually had a winner at Sedgefield last week with Alexander Fleming aboard. Now, Alexander Fleming is going to be able to claim £10 tomorrow, which I just think is such an advantage in these kind of races. Now, for some people, this wouldn't be their kind of race they like to get stuck into, but I do, because I just think these weight allowances are just so vital, especially in these conditional races. And Alexander Fleming, I think, is going to be a jockey to keep on side with. Now, you can currently back this horse at 10-1, and I'm going to recommend an each way bet. And there's numerous bookmakers offering 4 places at those prices. You've got Betfair, you've got Paddy Power, Boyle Sports, I saw. So there's plenty of 10-1 out there with the 4 places. Now, this horse, he's going to be making his handicap debut tomorrow off a mark of 83, and he is 9 years old. So yeah, there's maybe a couple of quirks there. It's maybe an unconventional tip. You wouldn't normally see this kind of thing happening. But off a mark of 83, I think that's a capable mark there. It was his first run of the season last time we saw him at Uttoxeter when he finished in a novice hurdle, finishing in 7th place. There is a little bit of substance to the form, as a 3rd place horse did come out and win. And I think in this race tomorrow, where loads of these have question marks over them and haven't really shown much at all. I know Tickety Tock hasn't, but I think there's a few things that are interesting about him tomorrow. He's basically going to be running off a mark of 73 with Alexander Fleming's £10 claim, so a nice low weight. Also as well, going up in trip I think will help him as well. He's often run, or he's running on all his starts over 2 miles, and he's going to be stepping up to 2.5 miles tomorrow. And if you actually look at his pedigree, his dam actually was able to win over 2 miles 6. So going up in trip should definitely help him. And I just think off a nice low racing weight tomorrow at 10-1, with the jockey and trainer combining for a winner last week. Also as well, Sue Smith had a fair second at Hexham last night. I just think that this horse might be one of these horses that's, you wouldn't normally think of him winning at this time of year, but he's got a few tickers in the boxes which make him a really interesting contender at a double-figure price. So he is going to be my long shot, and that's Tickety Tock in the 7:30 at Sedgefield. So just quickly recap through the 3 tips for tomorrow. In the 3:40 at Ascot, we go with Look Closely, 7-2, that's the next best, win only bet. The nap is in the 4:50 at Ascot, Tempus, 5-2, win only bet for Roger Charlton. And then in the 7:30 at Sedgefield, Tickety Tock for Alexander Fleming and Sue Smith, 10-1 each way with 4 places. And fingers crossed we can have another good day tomorrow. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button for more videos here on my YouTube channel. You'll get a notification every time I upload a video. Also as well, if you want to follow me on social media, the best place to do so is on Twitter, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, check out my website. There's a link to it in the description box below, as well as a full profit and loss record for each month. So if you want to check it out, just click the link below, which is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk, and that'll take you through to my website. So that's what I've got to say. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, continue our superb form, and we'll be seeing you soon.